afternoon. The first strategy that I will roleplay is a listening strategy and it's called Different Paces. In this strategy, I am going to read a text aloud several times, each with different pace, starting very slowly with lots of pauses between commas and periods in the text, and then as I read on, I will read slightly faster so that my students can get accustomed to hearing different paces when people speak. Without further ado, here is the strategy. For that, I have used the short story I Don't Need Anything From Here by Laszlo Krasznahorkai. I would leave everything here. The valleys, the hills, the paths, and the jaybirds from the gardens. I would leave here the peacocks and the padres, heaven and earth, spring and fall. I would leave here the exit routes, the evenings in the kitchen, the last amorous gaze, and all of the city-bound directions that make you shudder. I would leave here the thick twilight falling upon the land, gravity, hope, enchantment, and tranquility. I would leave here those beloved and those close to me, everything that touched me, everything that shocked me, fascinated and uplifted me. I would leave here the noble, the benevolent, the pleasant, and the demonically beautiful. I would leave here the budding sprout, every birth and existence. I would leave here incantation, enigma, distances, inexhaustibility, and the intoxication of eternity. For here I would leave this earth and these stars, because I would take nothing with me from here, because I've looked into what's coming, and I don't need anything from here. I don't need anything from here. I would leave everything here, the valleys, the hills, the paths, and the jaybirds from the gardens. I would leave here the petcocks and the padres, heaven and earth, spring and fall. I would leave here the exit routes, the evenings in the kitchen, the last amorous gaze, and all of the city-bound directions that make you shudder. I would leave here the thick twilight falling upon the land, gravity, hope, enchantment, and tranquility. I would leave here those beloved and those close to me, everything that touched me, everything that shocked me, fascinated me, and uplifted me. I would leave here the noble, the benevolent, the pleasant, and the demonically beautiful. I would leave here the budding sprout, every birth and existence. I would leave here incantation, enigma, distances, inexhaustibility, and the intoxication of eternity. For here I would leave this earth and these stars, because I would take nothing with me from here, because I've looked into what's coming, and I don't need anything from here. And now one last time. I would leave everything here, the valleys, the hills, the paths, and the jaybirds from the gardens. I would leave here the petcocks and the padres, heaven and earth, spring and fall. I would leave here the exit routes, the evenings in the kitchen, the last amorous gaze, and all of the city-bound directions that make you shudder. I would leave here the thick twilight falling upon the land, gravity, hope, enchantment, and tranquility. I would leave here those beloved and those close to me, everything that touched me, everything that shocked me, fascinated me, and uplifted me. I would leave here the noble, the benevolent, the pleasant, and the demonically beautiful. I would leave here the budding sprout, every birth and existence. I would leave here incantation, enigma, distances, inexhaustibility, and the intoxication of eternity. For here I would leave this earth and these stars, because I would take nothing with me from here, because I would look into what's coming, and I don't need anything from here. As you can see, this strategy is somewhat exaggerated for pedagogical purposes. However, things that you have to take into consideration when you are using this strategy of different paces to read is that you have to get your students accustomed to different ways of speech patterns so that they are prepared to respond and understand to these different patterns when they are interacting in real life with other speakers of English. Thank you. Thanks, students. Now for my second strategy, it will be a reading strategy, and it is called matching pictures to text. In this strategy, I will give my students a text, this time a Hindu short story called The Holy Snake, and then after giving them a short time to read the text, I will hand them some pictures and ask them to paste them in the correct order on the board. Well, without further ado, good afternoon, class. Today we are going to read the short story, The Holy Snake. You will have 3 minutes to read this story, and then I will group you into fours, and you will come up to the board and paste the pictures in the correct order. Now, here are your copies. Okay, class, time's up. Now, U4 and U4 and U4 are going to be the groups. Here are the images, and you have 1 minute to decide, and then you're going to come up to the board and paste them. Okay, let's check. Very good. So he met the snake and he prayed. And he gave her some milk, and the snake gave him a gold coin. Then the kid had to do it, his son. But he tried to kill the snake to get more coins. And then his mom, when he came back, told him the story. And he prayed the snake to forgive him, but the snake decided that they were going to help him no more, and the snake left. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Now, the things that you have to consider when you are doing this type of activities is that the activities have to be very simple, the image is very self-explanatory, and the text not too difficult, because otherwise you're risking your students getting confused when they are rearranging the images into the correct order. Some other things that you can take into consideration is that if the story is too long, this will be counterproductive, as it will take a lot of time. Thank you, and thank you to my students.